Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Effect House Office Hour, where we'll be answering all your questions about Effect House in the next 30 minutes. We welcome all technical and non technical questions. As usual, maybe you could share with us where you're joining from today, which country, and tell me how your day's been. Yeah. If you are joining for the first time, I am Vanessa, one of the community managers at Effect House, and super excited to be here. It's also my and I would like to introduce you to Mingus. Mingus, can you tell us what you do for anyone who's been here for who's here for the first time, and what you do at
Hey,
TikTok? Mm-hmm.
sure. Hi, Vanessa. Hey, everyone.
Mm-hmm.
As Vanessa said, my name is Mingus. I'm a technical community manager. So, hopefully, I am able to answer some of your technical questions today that you have. And you may know me from Discord, where I try my best to be most days of the week.
Mm-hmm. We've got Libardo and Ko Kwan Hua this morning. I think Ko's been here before, so just start firing up those questions. I know you've got them. Yeah. So, in case you see Effect House is replying, that's Carol, our Effect House community lead. And if you aren't aware, we have something called the forum where you can ask technical questions, and you can also request new features in the forum, and it will also allow us to see it, and it will help us prioritize building those features for you. And don't forget to follow Effect House on all your socials and TikTok. Yeah.
Put your question. Cool.
Mhm.
Let's get some questions going. Does anyone have any questions for me?
Okay. We did have some. I did scour through the forum this morning and check some questions. So, the first question that we found was, how would I pause an animation through scripting?
Ooh, do we know if that person is talking about a 2D or a 3D animation?
We don't, but we could assume it's something like the rain
Let's.
effect.
Okay, like a 2D probably. Let's
Yeah.
jump into Effect House and we can mess around together and see if we can figure this out.
Mhm.
Let me just create a project. I cleaned my desktop up for all of you. Cool. Here we are, Effect House. So I'm just going to open up our handy dandy asset library where I can pull a 2D asset. I think rain might be in there that this person's referencing. Cool. Import and apply. So for those who don't know, we have an asset library. There are lots of in-house assets we've created on here, 3D models, lots of materials, even like some visual scripting setups to help you get started. So if you haven't taken a little dive through here yet, I encourage you all to. Cool. Now you'll see we have our rain going. So first I'm gonna have to open my visual scripting panel, and we have. So we have 3 animated texture nodes that I'll just quickly whip up, and those are what you can use to control this animation, so that we call animated textures. We have our animated texture info, animated texture player. Let me actually undock this a little bit. For those who don't know, if you click this fun little undock button up here, you can then supersize your visual scripting panel, which makes it a little easier to see all your nodes. And then we have our set animated texture. Cool. I'm just going to dock this again for a second. If you click into your animated texture, which is this guy with the little play button, you'll see by default it has a loop count of -1. So in Effect House, -1 can be read as infinity. So that means loop it forever. You can think of it as a sideways 8, but we just use -1 in Effect House to symbolize that. You'll see if I do it to 0, it's not looping at all. It's just on the first frame of the animation. If I do 3, 1, 2, 3, it will loop the animation 3 times. I actually don't know how many frames this animation is. Okay, there you go. You see it stopped. So in order to play it and stop it, you can actually do that, or you can also use pause here. So let me see. If I select my animated texture, cool. And then let me see if I can pause it this way. So we can do a screen tap, pause. Ooh, I like questions about the new objects. Let me see how many sequences this has. Cool. Let's do this one. So if we use set animated texture, you can see I can select my animated texture here, and then we can do option. Okay, I got it. Let's do an if node, and then let's do a screen tap. Oh, cool. So a way to stop it and play it again is to use a set animated texture node and then link a screen tap up to it or any trigger you want. And you'll see if I screen tap, it will then pause it. If you wanted to play it again, you would have to, we could use a flip-flop node, and I'll explain this in a second, and we could then set it back to -1. Let's see if this works. Oh, we've got to change the frames per second to match the animated texture, which is 12 and 12. That one doesn't matter. Cool. So now if I tap and then tap again, it will stop and start. So just to quickly go over that, I'm using screen tap. My first tap is setting the animated texture to have a loop count of 0, so not to play. And then my second tap or every other tap is going to set it back to looping infinite times. What our flip-flop node does is it takes a trigger as the input, and then it's saying every other time, send the trigger out of the A output, and then every time in between those, send the trigger out of the B output. So it's pretty much like there's a river, and then, no, it's like I guess it's like a train track where you can switch which track the train's going to go down. And every time you tap, it's flipping it. Let me put myself on here. There you go. You need to see this important hand gesture. So every time you tap it, it's moving the train track from A to B. Hopefully that answers the forum question.
I think it does. Let's share this with the user.
Yeah, of course.
Clara. And the next question is from Cole, our loyal follower for this office hour from Game Plus 40. Yeah. For the new text object in version 3, which is the version we just released, is it possible to remove the decimal place when data string with data string conversion to numbers?
I haven't found, I mean, I'm sure that Co's put more time into this even than I
We'll find out now.
But yeah, I don't know if we will. I haven't found a way to remove the decimal. What if I'll go back to the team and see if there's any way. I don't know a way right now. So for those who I'll do a little text demo for everyone. We added recently text to Effect House, and let me get rid of the rain. So now you can actually add some text right in the tool, which is very cool. Hello, everyone. Don't forget to press return or enter when you're done typing, or else it won't update. And then, you can play with some properties of it, bold, underline. But what I think is cool about this is that you can actually set it through visual scripting. So, what node am I looking for? Select.
We've got Geraldine as well following us. Geraldine, if you have any questions, just pop them in the chat and we'll have Mingus answer that for you.
So yeah, for the first time now, like with previously you would import text as images, and now you can actually use visual scripting to update your text. So let's do a counter here. I know this wasn't the question, I'm going on a bit of a tangent, but I'll just demo this to everyone so they have some context. Boom, boom, boom. Cool. And then screen tap, increase step from 1 to screen tap, increase step from 0. What have I done wrong? Okay. So you can see now, like, I'm able to actually, as opposed to using images, I can actually just type into visual scripting and then I can update it. What Game Plus 40 is asking is to turn a number. Let me just use a random math node. Let's see. So 1 plus 1. Are you converting it with the convert data? I assume so. And then feeding it in, I assume like this, and we're updating it. And do I need to refresh? This is what we're asking about, right? Give me a yes in the chat.
That's okay. You can keep going.
Okay, I was hoping to have my little like
I want to see how
streamer
this
moment.
ends.
Yeah, so the question for those who don't know is like we're asking if you can remove the decimals from, I mean, it seems they're coming from, I'm trying to find the root. I got a yes. Haha. It's weird that okay, it seems they're coming from this node is what's outputting the string as the 2.0.0. I wonder, there's got to be some hack we can do using some other nodes. I will get back to you in the Discord, making note, remove decimals. I will see. No promises that it's possible, but I understand that for games and whatnot, if we're just going up by whole numbers, there's really no point to have these 2 extra zeros. So let me see what I can do. I will get back to you in 12 hours or less. Hold me to it.
Sure. And the next question is from Libardo. He wants to create an effect similar to the character's mask in a movie. How would he create a mechanic when performing an action to activate? So, for example, the eyes and the mouth or some other parts of the face, this would come out of the face like it is in the movie. Do you mean that you want the mouth and the eyes to be moving along with the face, or is there another action? Maybe Libardo, you could confirm that. And the character's mask. Okay. Do we have a mask template that we could start with?
I'm not sure which character we're referencing. There's many ways to make masks. How could I create the mechanic when performing an action to activate, for example, the eyes, the mouth, or some other part of the face, and that this envelope comes out of the face like in the movie? Sounds cool. I'm
An envelope.
picturing an envelope coming out of the mouth, like someone's spitting out a piece of paper. Are you still with that? Okay, let's this is gonna be when you open the mouth.
Like
okay.
face off. Okay.
Do you know what face off is, Vanessa? Is that embarrassing for me to admit in this chat? Hi, Celine.
It's a science fiction movie.
Okay, people are learning currently how little I know about things outside of Effect House. Should I Face Off. Okay, I don't know what
Face
Face Off is, but I can show you how I'd try to make an envelope come out of my face. If that's... I'm with you.
I
TikTok
watched
Effect
that
House.
so long ago.
If you want things to come out of your face, let's delete this text.
For everyone who just joined in, if you have any technical questions about Effect House or you're stuck on a project, just pop them here and Mingus will try to answer that for you.
Thank you for adding try. Thank you for adding try. No, it's not weird. I'm just I don't know my pop culture. Okay, let's call a spade a spade. It's a... Here, let me Google. I'm looking what Face Off is. 1 second, and then maybe I could better understand Face Off. Oh,
I'm looking for that specific scene.
I'm getting like mud masks and peels. Science fiction. Oh, is this what we're going? Like a... I'm gonna need some photos posted in the chat. I'm sorry. I will spend after this not only answering the question about how to remove decimals, but also I will familiarize myself with this character. This is probably not what you're asking at all, but you can add a head tracker that will include things inside of the head that can then shoot out of the head. So if I have a cube, let me put this cube in my head tracker. You're being so nice.
Loving
it. You're like, this is not what I asked for at all. You're like, I know how to put a cube on a head tracker. Maybe reach out in the Discord with a photo, and hopefully I can help you there. I won't.
Can you do one where like the face comes off and another face comes?
Can I ever do a face coming off? I can add a face effect, our 3D face. Boom. For those who don't know, let me delete this rain. If you click your 3D face binding mesh, you can extract the face texture right here, and then you can apply that texture to the face paint material. Boom. Doesn't look like anything because it's my face on top of my face. You'll see if I change the color of face paint a little bit, maybe I make it a little green, you'll see that there is actually my face here. What you then want to do is, just lost my train of thought. You want to remove your 3D face binding. So if you click your 3D face, this component here says keep the mask stuck to the face. But if I remove it, you will now see there is this 3D face in the middle of the scene. And then by default, our 3D face has this feathered edge, but if you click into face paint, you see it has the opacity texture by default. You can remove that, and then you're gonna have this face. Obviously, if my face goes off screen, or if I rotate and the face mask doesn't rotate, then it's actually gonna start to warp. What we can then do is, let's try to tether this to my face. If I do a head tracking, I don't know if this is the best way to necessarily do this. I need to scale it down, or do I move it around? Cool. I'm gonna try to align this with my face, y'all, but bear with me. This might not be the best way to actually do this.
I guess we don't have a picture of Greg that we can paste on this, do we?
I can use Asset Studio to make a face mask.
Yes.
Let me try. A man named Greg. It might block it because it might think that's a celebrity, which, okay.
We could do...
Man with brown hair. This could be...
Look at you.
Yeah, look at it.
Yeah.
Greg generated. Let's... I think it's made
Let's pick the top right one.
Perfect. This would be a face mask that we would then apply. Where is there we go. Ooh, that's nice.
Oh,
We unfortunately I can't remove this one from my head in the way that I could the other, but that was a fun little thing you can also do. For those who don't know, I feel confident. We have Asset Studio up here.
we made the movie.
Did we do it? Great. Yeah, if you don't know, we have Asset Studio, so that's gonna be text to face mask, which is cool. So by default, if you put in anything, it's going to generate a texture that is mapped out to our face mesh in the tool, so you can easily, quickly create makeup effects. And then we also have 2D stickers, so I'll use the default, the cheeseburger, and you'll see that by default, it's going to give you pixel art. We'll add some more styles in time. Right now, it's just pixel art, and of course, you can up the prompt strength. And then this is a fun way. So if I do this one and I import it, this is just a fun little way to add some 2D images to your effect without having to leave Effect House. So if I do like a face sticker, I can quickly add a cheeseburger to it. And not only now am I this man with brown hair, I'm also eating a hamburger, all done very quickly through our Asset Studio.
We have about 7 minutes left. Do you want to go through the latest feature other than the 2D text? In case
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Yes. Let me quickly pull those up.
That face
Feel
mask
free to-
looks so good. Maybe you should grow your
Yeah,
fringe.
I don't know. I thought my eyebrows were thick, but I'm now learning I'm kind of wanting to thicken them up a little more. Come on, phone. Let me just let's all look at the not this one. This one. Cool. I'm just going to look at our release notes together. For those who don't know, we have our release notes on our website, and that's where you can see all our latest features. So we already did text. I will show you all neck tracker, which I'd say it's a neck tracker light. Let me show you why I say that. Oops. Let's delete this. So if you go to air tracking, you will see neck tracker. And let me quickly add an actual standard PBR material to it so you can see what's going on. Because it's going to have an occluder by default, which is going to mean it's invisible. So if I add a standard PBR, when you're adding neck tracker, what you're actually doing is adding this mesh we've created that is going to be tethered actually to the center of the head, but it has bones in the neck, and those bones are going to rotate almost the opposite of the head to hopefully kind of create what your neck's doing. So you can see if I bend my head, the neck is going to rotate in the opposite direction. And what that's doing is simulating the head's movement a little bit. If you click neck tracker, you can also determine how closely you want it to track. So this one's going to bend a little less. Heavy is going to bend a little more. And then you could also do custom. So if I don't move, you'll see you can say how much weight you want each bone to have and how much you want it to follow the head. I think heavy is the best. So I'll use that. And then I'll add the occluder back to it because you don't actually need to see the head tracker. And how you want to use this is if you add a necklace or a necktie, I'll just use a sphere for now, but you'll open up these bones here, and then you will drop your object onto whichever bone you want. So there's bones kind of running all down my spine. And then when you drag an object onto a bone, make sure to zero it out again because it's going to remember its old position. And then if I move it down to where I want it, imagine this is a gorgeous bow tie. You'll see hopefully it tracks to the neck a little better than if you were just to use our old head tracker. Yeah. And another way, like here's another example kind of it in use is if we go to our asset library, we have one neck asset right now, I believe, which is this Loch Ness necklace. But you'll see again, it's going to occlude it around my neck. We have dynamic chain applied to the necklace by default, so it's going to wiggle. Yeah, and it's just kind of a more hopefully realistic way to apply things to your neck. Next is we have a
looks like it looks good with what you're wearing.
Oh, thank you. Get out of town. That's a cool look. It's a new thing I'm trying. Next, we have this test performance feature. So, as I'm sure some of you know, previously, to know if your effect was going to pass QA, you would have to submit it. We had always this kind of marker here, so you know you have to keep your effect under 5 megabytes. But now we also have a way. Let's see what happens. I'm going to run a test. It's going to take maximum 30 seconds while it calculates some things, but it usually takes a little less than that. And it's going to tell you if your effect, based on our best guess, will be a frame rate that will pass our QA. So this effect right now passes, which is great. And then this will take you to our learning resources if it doesn't pass, which will hopefully tell you some ways to reduce it. This isn't 100% accurate, so it's using some of its best guesses based on other effects in the past. It's not going to work well, I'll let you all know, with brand new features because we don't have necessarily the data of that features to reference. So if we have a brand new feature added to the tool, I would recommend you submit it and find out that way. But for pre-existing features, it's definitely a good way to get an idea of whether it will pass the frame rate or not. Next, we already did the 2D sticker, the hamburger or the cheeseburger, excuse me. And then the last thing I want to show you all is, if you are a visual scripter, let me add some random nodes real quick, because I know we have not too much time. And you make a subgraph, so that's when you package, almost group all your nodes into, like this. And let me clean up my asset panel so you all can see the magic that is happening. Come on. Cool. Once you have your subgraph, and say it's a subgraph you use all the time. So say you make games and you have a subgraph that, when you tap, it increases the count or something. I can right click my subgraph and I can save it to a node library. And that's actually going to save it into the Effect House folder on your computer. So it's not saving it to your desktop, for example. It's actually saving it in Effect House. And then if I add a node in the future, it will add your subgraph to the node menu. So, and that's not just in this project file. That's in if I close Effect House, if I restart my computer and I make another project, I'll always be able to reference this and I can rename it. So pretty much if you have nodes or subgraphs you like to use a lot, combinations of nodes you like to use a lot, now you can save to node library, and that means they will be accessible through this custom option. Oh yeah, yes, there will be some, I'm just reading the chat. There are times when it will tell you it will pass here and then it won't, but we're working on improving it every day. So it's a start, but yeah, feel free to save all your nodes, show us what nodes you're saving. And then of course we also have a lot of subgraphs that can be accessed here through our interaction panel. And then we also have subgraphs in our asset library that can be accessed here. So lots of ways now to hopefully improve your scripting if you're a scripter.
Thank you so much, Mingus. Yeah, you provided such great tips today. Performance check, asset library, visual scripting library. So yeah, I hope you guys have found this super useful. And if you still have any questions, again, hit up our forum at community.effecthouse.com. And I guess that brings us to the end. Remember to follow us on our socials at Effect House on TikTok, Instagram, Discord, and Twitter. And this office hour, as usual, will be uploaded in the next few days. So subscribe to our YouTube and our TikTok, and you'll be the first to access this tutorial. Okay, enjoy the rest of your day, and see you at the same time in 2 weeks. Oh, one last announcement. I think we have Game Plus 40 showing us his Stack Your Game face at the same time next Thursday. So hopefully we'll see you there. Okay. Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Thanks.
Bye.